Hello guys, hello guys. What's up? It is your host that does the most spiritual intellectual 777 here once again, coming at you guys from the house of greatness. And in today's video, what we're going to be talking about is forgiveness, okay? And the reason why I want to speak on the topic of forgiveness is because it's a huge part of the healing process of your spiritual journey. So when you learn to forgive yourself, which is the first thing I want to talk about, you can elevate to new heights and even forgiving other people. But, right now, what I'm going to discuss is forgiving yourself. And the reason why I want to talk about this aspect is because, there's a lot of people who when they speak on forgiveness, they just put emphasis on just forgiving other people that may have hurt you from the past. And although that is a huge part of the process of your awakening, that's not the end all be all, right? Because forgiving other people, is fine. It'll help you heal up, it'll help you elevate to new heights. But unless you learn to forgive yourself for what you have done in the past, then you're not going to truly move on and elevate to your highest potential. For example, I've just been like, asking, I've been asking for my partner forgiveness for the stuff that I've done to her. But, she gave me like a gentle reminder by saying, like, did you forgive yourself? Because yes, it is fine that you ask me for forgiveness and others for forgiveness and whatnot, but until you truly forgive yourself, you're not truly going to elevate like you should. And that is facts, because like if you're still holding on to those blockages on the inside, then you're not going to truly like live up to your highest potential. Your vibration is not going to go as high as it can go because you're still blocking yourself from reaching there, right? And so, forgiving yourself not only has like obviously spiritual benefits, it also like helps you physically, because the word disease come, when you break it down, into dis and ease, that means you are out of ease with yourself. And when you are out of ease with yourself, you can't truly operate, at your highest potential if your physical health is out of whack, right? Because disease can only manifest, if you're severely out of balance. So that is why it is important to forgive yourself so that you can get back into balance. And another thing I had to forgive myself for was, me just using manipulation tactics against, certain people just to get what I want, kind of just being Machiavellian. You know what I mean? And also, I don't know if you guys have read this book, but, The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene goes into great detail about the different manipulation tactics people use against you when they want to get what they want, right? And when that book first came out, it was super duper controversial because, the stuff that it talked about, and it got a lot of flack. I'm not gonna lie, when I first read that book, I was like, bruh, like Robert Greene, this dude seems like an evil ass dude for, teaching people how to do certain tactics to get what they want. But as time went on, I even subconsciously implemented a few tactics themselves, myself, not themselves, myself, and trying to get what I want to get. Just like, during spring break, when my mother was not cooperating in helping me get my license, I was just like, okay, it's time to, take drastic measures here. And then, my partner was like letting me know, like, dude, that ain't the right route to take. But she didn't say it directly. She just wanted to, you know, had my angels tell me, because I was, taking so-called drastic measures because, I felt like that I had to. And, that's just not the way to go. And so, even just a few minutes ago, I told myself, like, Evan, I forgive you for everything that you have done that has held you back from reaching your highest potential. Because like I can go ahead and ask forgiveness, all I want to from a partner, from other people, but until I forgive myself, I can't truly move on and elevate to the highest level that I can. So the moral of the story is, guys, is you have to forgive yourself if you truly want to skyrocket on upwards on your spiritual journey, right? Because you can't truly, live up to your fullest and highest potential if you don't forgive yourself. Because if you don't forgive yourself, how in the hell are you going to expect anybody else to forgive you? Because people mirror back to you how you treat yourself, right? So moving on to the next thing. Next thing I want to talk about is forgiving others for what they have done to you. Because they know not what they do, and they can only operate, from the level, they can only operate the best they can from the level of consciousness they are at. For example, let's say that you've grown up, in an abusive household, right? Where your parents were just, beating the brains out you and just calling you all types of derogatory names and saying that you're never going to amount to shit. You're never going to, reach your dreams. You're not going to have that dream partner that you want. You're not going to have this and you're not going to have that. Yada, 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 yada. They're just telling you, all of this false information in which, over time, your brain starts to normalize it and your ego tends to take on that identity of the victim, that is powerless, that can't have what they want, and they can never catch a break. And so that just really, really mirrors itself back to you in your reality by the way of circumstances, people, places, and things that are, reinforcing that idea inside of you. And thus this keeps you playing the victim even more. And the cycle just keeps repeating itself over and over and over and over and over again until you stop it. And one of the ways that you stop it is, like I said earlier, is forgive yourself, then you forgive others, and then, you just get to doing the work on yourself by way of like, for example, my partner told me, me and my partner was just having a talk, like, I think back on Monday. Yeah, it was Monday. So it was Monday. And I remember, like, I was just like, after I got out of like one of my classes, I was just spilling the beans to her by telling her, in the past, I used to blame you for a lot of my problems. And what else did I say? I probably said something along the lines of, I used to like compare you to like the way that women have treated me in the past, and because of the way I was raised by the women of my family, I was, resentful to all women because I thought that all women were like pieces of crap because of the way that I was treated by women in my family. Something along the lines like that. I'm not sure if that's my exact wording, but, that's the gist of it, so to speak. But the point is, she was very, and oh yeah, and I also said that, I also, didn't do other things in my life because, you were telling me not to join clubs and whatnot. And then, like, she was confused, of course, and she was saying, like, look, dude, I did nothing but try to help you elevate on your path. And the only reason why I was saying not to join certain clubs is because, you're trying to build a business and you're trying to get to the next level of your life. And you can't do that if you're constantly just joining if you're constantly joining clubs just to waste time and filling your time up with activities just because you want to avoid intimate relationships, so to speak. And so it's literally not my fault that you feel like that, because I've literally tried to help you, which she has. But the way that my ego was interpreting it was through like the lens of the past, right? And that's another thing that I want to speak on before I move any further, is that your ego is going to try to sabotage you every chance that it gets, especially when you're trying to elevate to the next level, because the ego does not like change at all, right? And so you have to be really, really observant of the thoughts that are inside of your mind, because a lot of the times those thoughts aren't even your thoughts. Right? And you're literally not your mind. You are the observer behind the mind, or behind the thinker, as Eckhart Tolle would coin it from his book, The Power of Now, which, I also listened to like the day after, by the way. And after, I re-listened to like some of that book, it was like, when I first listened to it, I didn't really grasp it. But now that I've re-listened to it 4 years later, it finally like sunk in. I finally get what he is truly saying behind those words, right? You are the observer behind the thinker. So therefore, when you decide to analyze your thoughts for what it is, just thoughts, you will no longer attach to those thoughts, and you will no longer entertain them, and you will no longer start overthinking all the damn time, because now you're just sitting there just calmly just observing your thoughts like this. All right. Yeah, and then sometimes you may even start getting to laughing, because you are not associating yourself with your thoughts, because you realize that your thoughts are just like these things that are just floating by. And for a long time, I would just have this, because I, wasn't aware of them. And Eckhart Tolle talks about this in his book, The Power of Now. Most people, when you just observe them in public, they just have this chatter going on inside of their minds, and sometimes they would even just voice that. They would even just, act it out loud when they're just talking to themselves in public, just basically going mad. And I'm not going to lie, I still to this day talk to myself. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things that I do. But when I talk to myself, the difference is I'm not just muttering like, man, what a shitty day it is. I don't like this. I don't like that. Which I am guilty of doing that from time to time. But, most of the time when I talk to myself, it's just me reflecting on, the past and the lessons from those past situations, so that I know what not to do next time. And sometimes I may even be uttering affirmations to myself quietly, when I'm like out and about, just eating or hanging out with a friend or doing whatever. But I would just like silently and mentally recite to myself positive affirmations like, I have my driver's license. I am abundance. I am guided. I am loved. I am successful. Just really just reverberating those affirmations from time to time, just so that I can keep myself on a higher vibrational frequency and not get sucked into that negative vortex of always thinking about the negative, so to speak, right? Because I'm always looking, for ways that I can elevate myself. But to piggy right back on to Monday, and just diving deep into the journaling process. So, when I was on the phone with my girl on Monday, she was just explaining to me in detail, like how she was helping me, and, and she was saying like those core issues, that your mom, that core issue that your mom has taught you from childhood, has plagued you in the present moment because you haven't learned yet to heal it. And she suggested that, and the core issue was that, the women in my family were very authoritarian, you know, and they were telling me like, okay, you better do this or you better do that. And basically, what they were telling me indirectly was, you do what we tell you to do and we'll continue to love and approve of you. But if you don't, we're going to withdraw our love and approval from you. So what that caused me to do was just like really, like I said, resent, all the women that I've met, and, caused me to view all women as authoritarian, that, I have to constantly please them and to make them happy. And because of that, that has caused, a lot of failed relationships on my end, and it has even seeped into the current relationship that I'm in. And so, my partner was giving me a gentle reminder that, look, dude, like, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to gently guide you, and I'm here to help you become better. But you have to really, really just learn to start loving yourself more and start taking care of yourself, because, your job is not to please me. Your job is to, elevate yourself. Like, yes, you can love me and you can do things for me, but do it from a place of like, love and not out of obligation, so to speak. She didn't tell me that directly, but she was saying that indirectly through her words. And I was like, man, like had I just been like really, really open and honest with her a long time ago, we would have never gotten to this point. But, I can't ruminate on the past. I can't continually beat myself up and just punish myself, right? And I remember, throughout Monday, I was telling myself like, I can't allow myself to have a good day because of what I've done to my girl. Basically saying to myself that I don't forgive you, Evan, for everything that you've done. So I'm going to go ahead and punish you and make sure that you don't have a great day, so to speak. And like, that was just like the wrong mindset to have, because, I was basically reenacting for what I've learned from childhood, basically that punishment reward dynamic that, when a child acts quote unquote good, you give them a reward and you give them your love. But if they act bad, then you withdraw your love and your approval from them. And I was basically, acting from that mindset on autopilot, basically doing it to myself, literally. So if you are doing that to yourself right now, I want you to really, really, really stop and think about what you're doing to yourself and why you're doing it in the first place. Because then and only then, when you stop yourself and you observe it for what it is, and you're able to really just see how much that is not serving you, you will stop doing it in an instant, and you will start rewiring your mindset, and you'll start elevating to new heights and new levels. But let me explain this like journaling topic, man, because I keep saying I'm going to explain it, but then I just get into some other shit. But, it is what it is. I wanted to give you a full, complete picture. But I remember I took her suggestion by like writing down the pros and cons of what I learned from my family and what I've learned outside of my family. And as I was doing this exercise, after we got off the phone, I found that I had more pros than cons from what I've learned outside of my family, and more cons than pros from what I learned inside of my family. And so when I looked at those two lists, I was just like, damn. Like, my family has really caused me to have distorted views about women and about society and about, God and about the world as a whole, because I just didn't really like grasp that. And because a lot of the stuff that I was taught that was normalized, was really screwing me over. So that foundation that, those foundational years from when you learn, a lot of stuff from adults, like approximately between 0 to 7 years old, that's when, your subconscious mind is the most open to suggestion. Because like as little children, like, no, during those years, you don't have a subconscious mind. And because of that, your subconscious mind is developing from like 0 to 7 years old. And depending upon what you were taught as, a kid, it can really like either elevate you to new heights or really screw you up in your adulthood. And so that's why you see nowadays, a lot of people having to do lots and lots and lots of healing work on themselves because of what they were taught during childhood, right? And if you've grown up in America, you will already know that most of us during our childhoods was taught this reward punishment dynamic. And because we may have not gotten a lot of love and attention as children, we go ahead and we seek it externally, subconsciously, when we're adults, by way of our social media habits. And, I'm going to put myself in this because I used to like post heavy on social media, right? And I would just be venting my thoughts like a motherfucker on Facebook, just constantly posting hour on the hour by the hour. And when my partner was trying to make me aware of this, I didn't want to hear it. I was just like, no, hell no, nah. You fucking wrong for that. I'm using it to promote myself. But, that may be true to a certain extent. That, tendency to like want to look for love and approval outside of myself was still plaguing me. So what I decided to do was just like, log out of Facebook and just delete the app off my phone altogether and just really just focus on the platforms that are truly like helping me connect with positive, high vibrational people, and that there's like little to no drama on those platforms. Because let's face it, guys, Facebook is filled with is oversaturated with a lot of low vibrational bullshit, a lot of gossip and a lot of drama. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to withdraw my energy from that platform and just focus on YouTube, Instagram, and Snapchat, because there's really like little to no drama on those platforms. So, I'm just going to focus on that. And plus, me being a videographer and a filmmaker and a podcaster and, an audio engineer in training and a screenwriter and a film director and a film producer and and a photographer, and the list just goes on and on and on. It just makes sense for me to focus on those platforms because, a lot of people take you more and more seriously on those platforms. But anyways, I didn't mean, to just have this conversation, just delve into different areas, but I felt like it needed to be said because like, it's all a part of the growing process. It's all a part of the growing pains. And so I really, 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 really do encourage you for the rest of this week to forgive yourself and to forgive somebody that has like hurt you really, really badly, because, it's nothing personal. And hell, I even did this journaling exercise myself, to where I was writing down like, what was the root cause of all of my self-sabotaging tendencies. And it was because my mom and my dad didn't give me enough love and attention that I needed as a child. So, I felt like subconsciously that I had to, be worthy of other people's love and affection. And that was seeping into my social media habits. That was seeping into, my romantic relationships and my friendships. And it caused me to be this hard-hearted savage that didn't want to fuck with anybody. And, that was just really, really not want to bother with nobody because, like, I just didn't really, really love and approve of myself. So I felt like I had to look for love and approval outside of myself. And that has caused me to have these feelings of bitterness and loneliness and resentment. But, I also wrote at the bottom of the page that, I forgive my mom and I forgive my dad and I forgive my other family members because they know not what they do and they haven't truly learned to love themselves. So there was no way in hell that they can love me. And once I wrote that down, it just felt so therapeutic and so uplifting. And I do recommend that you guys, do those journaling exercises that I just mentioned, so that, the same wounds and core issues don't keep plaguing you for the rest of your life and causing you to not reap the success that you solely want. Because, the purpose of us being in this earth school is to break out of those karmic cycles and to truly just elevate to our highest potential. But we can't do that if we're just constantly just holding on to past baggage. And me and my partner are, a point right now where we're in the rebuilding stages right now, and it's just so beautiful. And now I'm just learning to truly love the process, instead of, just reacting from ego, saying like, oh man, like this, oh man, like why does this have to happen, like blah yada 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 yada, just basically playing the victim, right? So I'm gonna ask you a serious question, and I really want you to think about this question as I ask it, and don't just immediately answer with yes or no. I actually want you to pause this video after I ask this question. Do you truly want to be happy? That is the question of the day. Do you truly want to be happy? And I really want you to think about this. Because although you may just have this impulse to blurt out yes, your subconscious mind is saying no. And the reason for that being is because, you have been trained for so long to attach conditions to your happiness by saying like, man, once I manifest this car, once I manifest my dream partner, once I manifest, some new gear or some new experiences, then I'll be happy. And that is conditional happiness. And conditional happiness is another thing that is, causing you to self-sabotage your efforts for experiencing happiness in the first place, because you're putting all of these roadblocks in between, your happiness and your well-being. And so when you truly learn to just be unconditionally happy, then and only then can you truly rise at the top of your game and raise your frequency, because now you're not dependent on the external world to make you happy, right? And so you just really have to learn to find that happiness and that sunshine within yourself, because you're gonna have your days where you're experiencing those like downward emotions or whatnot. But as long as you keep practicing unconditional happiness, you can bring out that sunshine at will. And I'm not saying that I'm fully there yet to where I can bring it out at will, but I'm a work in progress towards that. You see what I'm saying? So part of, forgiving yourself and forgiving others is learning how to be unconditionally happy despite the circumstances that you're in. And I think that's like one of the lessons that my angels keep telling me, because no matter what angel number I keep getting the same message, which is to keep the faith and to stay positive, and that you're making positive progress on your journey. And, I'm also assuming they also mean that, practice unconditional happiness despite, your current circumstances, because, the outside world can't give you that happiness and that love that you're looking for. You can only find that inside of yourself. And once you truly grasp that, then and only then, can you truly elevate to your highest potential, and you can attract what you want instead of what you don't want. You see what I'm saying? So all in all, just forgive yourself and love yourself 100%. And just keep on elevating and keep paying attention to those angel numbers, and keep, taking heed to that divine guidance, because it's going to help you out a lot throughout your spiritual journey. All right. So I'm going to end the video at that by saying thank you for watching. If you're brand spanking new to this channel, make sure to go ahead and press that subscribe button and hit that bell right next to it, so you get notified every time that I upload a video on this channel. I typically upload a video a week, and depending on the day of the week, that's when I'll upload the video to the channel. And also make sure to hit that like button, and also make sure to comment what you're working on forgiving within yourself and in others. And make sure to share this video, because I feel like a lot of people can really benefit from this video and from my story, because we all need those gentle reminders every now and again to forgive ourselves and other people so that we can truly elevate and skyrocket and to truly have a fresh start. And also make sure to donate to this channel if you've gotten a lot of value from this, and also to my GoFundMe as well. And if you are an artist or a creative of some sort, make sure to subscribe to my 8 Mil Productions podcast, and a link to that will be in the description, along with the GoFundMe link and the link to be able to donate to this channel. And also, guys, really, just make sure that, you stay on, your spiritual game and keep your high vibrations up at all times. And also make sure to email me so that you can, so I can give you my services, like being able to create a guided meditation for you, a customized guided meditation for you for $50 a pop. And that also, like, I edit demo reels for cinematographers, directors, and not editors, and actors, so that if you need somebody to edit your demo reel for you, I can do that for you for $100 a pop. So again, make sure to email me at 8milproductions@gmail.com. The email will be in the description below if you're interested in any of those services. And with that being said, keep them vibrations up. Have an amazing, wonderful Friday. And most of all, peace in and out with the highest vibes. And I'll see you guys next time. Hello guys, I am the owner of 8 Mil Productions, a video production company that makes music videos, narrative films, music videos, and also edits videos for anyone who doesn't have the time to edit them. You can contact me via my social media and my email. My email is 8milproductions@gmail.com. My Facebook is Evan Youngblood Williams, and my Instagram is @Spiritual Intellect. My rates vary, and I am looking forward to working with you. Have an amazing day.